Hey y'all, you want to set your child up for success? Is your child struggling with a specific subject or need help with the subject? Is your child ahead, not getting challenged enough in class? Well, IXL Learning is an online learning program that enriches your homeschool curriculum. It offers practice in math, English, language arts, science, and social studies while adapting to each child, meeting them where they are. Plus, IXL encourages students to become curious and empowers them to choose how to learn. Look, we homeschool our son. No doubt about it. He's more of a visual learner, and we use IXL, and Cindy teaches him, and there are so many different benefits to the program. It adapts to exactly what he needs in different areas. So IXL is the perfect supplement to your homeschool curriculum. IXL offers interactive practice problems, educational games, lessons, and video tutorials for every topic you're teaching at home. It's easy to use, time-saving. Everything on IXL is organized by grade, subject, topic, and subtopic, making it simple to find activities for the exact skills you're covering. IXL offers instant feedback and explanations of new topics as kids use the program. Kids can explore any topic in any grade level. They aren't forced into a single learning path like they are on other programs. If you're homeschooling your child because they were falling behind or because they were too far ahead like our son, IXL is a great program to help them get the exact support they need. Kids love IXL's positive feedback awards and educational games. IXL is trusted by 15 million students worldwide and has proven to improve performance in over 75 scientific research studies. Make an impact on your child's learning. Get IXL now. And Real Life Real Crime listeners can get an exclusive 20% off IXL membership when they sign up today at IXL.com/today. Visit IXL.com/today to get the most effective learning program out there at the best price. And don't forget, Real Life Real Crime listeners get 20% off. Y'all, we really do use this product, and it's been a godsend.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Listen to that. Nothing beats a vinyl. Some technology just stands the test of time. Our technology not only brings the cool, it also brings the heat. At Mitsubishi Electric, we've been mastering and innovating heat pump technology since 1970. EcoDan, continued innovation in heating for home and business. Mitsubishi Electric, changes for the better.
Real Life, Real Crime is a true crime podcast brought to you weekly by Woody Overton, Jim Rathman, and executive producer Toby Tomplay.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney prior to and during any questioning. You can't afford one, the court will appoint one for you. You understand your rights?
Your crime spree was over, son. Yeah, you thought you had it licked, but hitman in Overton made you shoulda turned to shit. Get ready, you're gonna do time. Real life, real crime.
Warning. This episode of Real Life, Real Crime, the podcast, will contain descriptions of acts of violence or that are of a sexual nature, it should be for people that are 18 years or older. Heed my warning, people. Jim and I did not get the facts of these cases off of the internet or from some television show. The facts we're retelling you were presented to us by the victims of the crimes or the perpetrators who committed the crimes against the victims. My description of the crime scenes are what I saw with my own two eyes. If you're going to get offended, please turn this podcast off now. Thank you. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Real Life, Real Crime, the podcast. I'm Woody Overton, your host, with my co-host and partner, my brother from another mother, the hitman, Jim Rathman. What's up, Jim?
What's going on, Woody? Hope you're doing well. Hope everybody had a good holiday and a good New Year's.
So today, we're going to do this episode, and I think we'll call this one Dookie, D-O-O-K-I-E, and we might laugh a little bit, y'all. We're certainly not laughing at the people in the stories. I think Jim's going to tell one, and then I'll tell at least one. But we're going to call it Dookie. And I mean, my youngest son is 9, and all the rest of my kids are college age, and you know, he could say Dookie and it makes me laugh, and I'm 50 years old. I mean, it's just something you never get over with, or poop, or whatever you want to call it. But we'll call it Dookie. And again, we're not making fun of anybody. It's just some lighthearted police stories we want to share with y'all, and hope you enjoy. And if you don't want to hear about Dookie, then turn it off. Go ahead, Jim. I'll let you start.
Yeah, look, I'm going to warn you. We're going to laugh. We'll probably laugh more than normal because that's one of the things we love to do. And, you know, we're unedited. So laugh along with us. Hopefully you'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
All right. So this is a good one. This goes back some time. So this probably would have been about 2005 time frame. As I mentioned to you guys before, when I worked the road, I worked the west side of Livingston Parish. I was actually in the southwest, which is very busy. It's very, it's just very active. Unlike the east side, which is, real rural and whatnot. This is built up development area. We have everything, neighborhoods, trailer parks, just you name it, we got it. It's very populated. So whenever there's a big disturbance, whether it's in the southwest or the northwest, if you need additional units, somebody from that west side, whether it's from the north, will come down to the south, or the units from the south side will come up to the north and help out. And this particular time, and I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to set it for you, it was in December. It was cold. It was actually really cold in Louisiana at the time. And I worked the night shift. And there was a big disturbance. And if you've been up in Livingston Parish before, I'm sure you're familiar with Lockhart Road. And right off of Lockhart Road and 16 is some neighborhoods and trailer parks. And so there was a big disturbance that was going on up there in the north. A big old fight broke out, and just all these people. So the request came for additional units. So I head up north, and I get on the scene, and we've got, 4 or 5 units out there. And we got all these people sitting down. Finally got them all under control. We have them sitting down. Some are in handcuffs, some are not. And, there's fights going on. You got to restrain people and get them to stop. So we're checking driver's licenses and running people for warrants. And one of our deputies, I'm not going to say his name because he's still active, but I will just say that he's a very big guy, probably a good old 6'4", 245, 250. I'll leave it at that. Was on the scene as well. And this guy and I would joke around all the time. We're constantly laughing. We're constantly communicating, and is a good friend. And so I look at him, and I'm up there and ask him a question, and he's like incredibly irritated. And I'm thinking, my gosh, we go through this all the time. What could he be so irritated about? And he's literally yelling out these driver's license numbers and warrants, like through the radio, like, hurry up. And I'm looking at him like, Sean. I was like,
you said his name. You didn't say the last name. Go ahead.
So I'm like, bro, you got all these, like you're sweating. It's like coming down on your forehead, man, and it's cold out here. Like, what's going on with you? And he's like, I don't feel good. All right. And, he's pacing back and forth, and he's getting mad. And I'm like, dude, you all right? And he just calls back to dispatch. You got that 29 check yet? And which is a warrant check. And, and they're like, negative, stand by. And he starts pacing. All of a sudden,
and
he looks over.
When you jump on a dispatcher like that and you're trying to hurry them up, you can bet that makes them go even slower. They're like, you're gonna snap at me? Oh yeah, now I'm really gonna drag this out. But go ahead.
So, so he goes. He looks over, and I'm looking. He's got this strange look on his face. And next thing you know, he literally just takes this driver's license that he's holding. And it was almost like he's throwing one of those Chinese stars. It just flicks it over at me. And he's like, I got to go. And I just watched him turn around. And he's walking as quickly as he can to his unit. Yet he's squeezing as hard as he can because something is just about to happen. It's not right. Remember, it's super cold out. Yeah. And he's literally sweating. Yeah. So he gets in his unit. And, I'm talking flying out of that gravel road onto Lockhart, and you can hear him hitting it. Woo! Next thing you know, you can actually hear he he turned on the lights and sirens to get to that little
get out of the way, people.
And then you can hear him heading south. Well,
we call that rolling code, y'all. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the reason he's heading south on 16 is because his apartment was over there, and he's moving. So the rest of us on the scene were kind of chuckling a little bit because we all took notice and started kind of making little jokes about it. So we finished dealing with everybody there, and the responding officer or the responding deputy there ended up arresting a couple of people. So once we got all that taken care of, we take off. I get back in my unit, and I got a couple of missed calls on my phone. So I grab my phone and I call, and like, what's up? And he's like, hey,
tell them who the missed calls were from. It was from the guy that left the scene rolling
code.
It
was from the guy that left the scene, taking off, running code through an intersection to get to his apartment. And so I had this message like, hey, I need you to come by my place. I said, all right. So I get in my unit, and myself and another guy, we stop over there by his apartment. And then when I first get there, I see his unit parked there. And I look up where his apartment is, and the door is literally off the hinges. And I'm like, what on earth happened? Right? So I walk in there, and he's sitting on his couch, and he's just looking like, oh, man. It just, one, looked like relief, two, looked like some stress.
I guess so.
So I get up there, I'm like, dude, what the heck happened? And he goes, man, I had to go so bad. He goes, I've never felt like that in my life. I had to go so bad. He goes, I thought I was going to go in my pants, which is why I had to go code through the intersection. And I was flying. He goes, so as I'm driving, I'm unsnapping my duty rig. Yeah. Which is where, you have your pistol on there and your handcuffs and everything on your belt.
Baton,
and he's
all that.
undoing the snaps on it so he can take it off. Well, what a lot of us do in our unit, so I won't even go ahead and say, I'll just go ahead and say that he has a set of keys that are on his duty rig. He has like a key holder on his duty rig, and that is actually where his apartment keys and a key to his unit was on. Well, he was taking that off, and when he pulled up to the apartment, he threw that into the passenger seat as he was driving so he can get out as quickly as possible. He gets out and locks his door.
Yeah.
What's that?
He threw his duty rig into the passenger
seat.
He
threw his duty rig into the passenger seat, got out, locked the doors, and then just took off a flight of steps. And when he got to the top, he realized he's going to undo his door, and he realizes, oh, shit, I took my duty rig off, and there were my keys.
Yeah.
So he's starting to say, he's sitting there, he's got to go real bad, but he's kind of like that in between before it comes back.
Yeah.
And he's thinking, do I walk back down and try to get in my car? And he goes, but the doors are locked, so I can either break out the window,
yeah,
and or do I go up and I breach my own door? And he goes, at first he thought about walking down the steps. He said he got about 2 or 3 steps down before he realized it came back. And when it came back on him, he's like, oh, God, this is it. Here it comes. So he just took back off towards the door and actually put a boot right on the door hinge. Bing! And the door flies right open, and he literally just ran into the bathroom, and he did a dookie. So we can't stop laughing because, one, we already saw what he was like on the...
Hey, y'all, let me tell you about Mochi. Mochi is a telehealth platform that connects patients seeking medication-based weight loss treatment with board-certified doctors and dietitians to help them determine the best treatment options to accomplish that goal. Mochi's program is completely virtual, meaning you can access their services anywhere in the United States and you will be meeting with their team online. You deserve doctors that listen. Mochi is dedicated to providing holistic, patient-centered care that prioritizes overall well-being with the goal of transforming how weight management is approached. Mochi Health takes a holistic approach to weight loss that includes visit with board-certified doctors, nutrition consultations, and medications delivered to your door. Science-backed medications including GLP-1s like Ozempic and generic compound versions, affordable and accessible regardless of insurance coverage. With Mochi, their dietitians work hand in hand with your medication to create personalized nutrition plans that fit your lifestyle. Reach your weight loss goals with science-backed, FDA-approved GLP-1 medications and support from real doctors and guidance from registered dietitians and help with making easy and sustainable changes to achieve results. Y'all have seen this. My wife has done it. My brother-in-law has done it. One of my best friends is doing it, and it really is an amazing process that works. So get started at joinmochi.com and use code RLRC to receive $40 off. That's joinmochi.com and use code RLRC to receive $40 off and let Mochi help change your life. Hey, y'all, let me tell you about Gobble. All Gobble meal kits are pre-prepped. That means less work for you and less waste in your kitchen. Their meal kits include everything you need so you can save time at the store or just skip that trip entirely. I got the box in and I had 3 different meals. I had a Kung Pao chicken, crispy fish tacos, and a beef bourguignon, however you say it. But let me tell you about the classic beef bourguignon. Look, it came with beef pot roast and a beef broth concentrate, red wine demi-glaze, cremini mushrooms, cipollone onions, mashed potatoes, baby carrots, and rosemary thyme butter. It was so easy to make. Literally like 15 minutes it took Cindy. And let me tell you something, and all the dishes were fire, but this thing was like a taste explosion in my mouth. It's just unreal. We've got to spend more time together and more time doing the things we love because everything came in this one single box right to my door. So see what a difference Gobble will make for your household. Right now, they're offering my listeners a fantastic limited time deal. You get $120 off across 4 boxes plus free shipping and free cookies. And let me tell you, those cookies, I ate one that was sin baked and it was delicious. Go to gobble.com/real life. That's GOBBLE.com/real life for $120 off your first 4 boxes. This offer is not available on the home site, so don't miss out. This is genius. It's taste explosions in your mouth like you never had.
Now he's got his duty rig sitting in his unit.
It's locked.
He's got a door completely off hinge. He's got the apartment manager now coming over going, what the hell happened? It looks like a SWAT raid just happened on his apartment. He's completely lost.
Because all the blue and whites, all the cop cars are now pulling up, and Jim and everybody else is on shift. The door's off the hinges. The apartment manager, a lot of times apartments will give you discount as a cop if you have a marked unit. because your unit acts as a visual deterrent to criminal as well. So the last thing the apartment manager was expecting was to look out and see all the cop cars and the doors knocked off the hinges as the cops' doors. Okay.
Because, I mean, he had an emergency shit. I mean, that's just
Yeah,
the way it was for him. And so, of course, we're gonna bust his chops all the way through. So we gotta let everybody know that this is what happened.
Yeah.
But even though he was a courtesy officer, he had to pay for a whole new door, and
Yeah.
they even made him install it.
Yeah.
Which was pretty funny. And then we had these little kits in our units that we could use to gain access to a vehicle whenever there's somebody locks their keys inside or if there's a child locked inside. So we had to go ahead and use those tools to get back into his unit because everything was locked up inside his unit. So he didn't want us to call anybody or dispatch, but before the night was over with, absolutely everybody knew the whole story.
Yes, indeed. And then within a couple of days, it's like the Cajun Queen. Everybody in the department knew the whole story.
Oh yeah.
The cops are the world's worst about riding other cops, but it is what it is. It's part of the deal. Yep, that was a good Dookie story. I can see that big dude having to take his own door.
Ooh. I mean, you got to look at that. I mean, that door was literally it was like hanging on like one little hinge.
Yeah,
had that thing holding it up.
But this is a big dude, y'all. I mean, I'm 6'2". He's got to be 6'4", 6'5". Well, I don't know how much he weighs.
Big and absolutely strong as heck.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a good one, Jim. Let's see. Let me do a Dookie story. I tell you one of the ones I remember that was, for some reason, it must have been, and we never had any extra duty details back then other than an occasional roadside one on the interstate or something like that, and the one that the trash place CEI, and you never could get them. But for some reason, I had a blue and white. I was a detective, but I borrowed somebody's blue and white. I don't remember why, but the reason I remember it is because they had just got the cameras put in the car, and whenever the dash cams, and whenever you turn on the lights, the strobe lights, the bar lights, it automatically turned the camera on. And anyway, it was nighttime. I was driving on the interstate from Albany towards Livingston for something. For the life of me, I can't remember why I had the car. But I saw this car with the truck popped open and its hazards on, pulled over like kind of haphazardly to the shoulder of the interstate. Well, the one thing about Willie Gray's was on if you were in a unit, he would let you drive it yourself on your days off in the parish, and one, it acted as a criminal deterrent. And, criminals never knew where people blue and whites were going to be, right? And but number two, the rule was you had to always keep your radio on, and if there was a call that came up close to you, even if you're off duty. So let's say I'm driving through Albany, and there's a call on North Cafe Line Road, and it's close to me, and I'm going to go catch it, even though I'm off duty. And so it cuts down on response time and stuff like that. And like I used to say, there were three kinds of time back then. There was straight time, which is your regular shift. Comp time, that was like if you get whatever, something that went over, you didn't get time and a half, you got time to take off. And then they had Willie time, and it was a whole lot of Willie time, kids fun days and whatever, right?
Steak dinners,
didn't want to say it, but steak dinners, campaign stuff.
Love you, Willie.
Yeah, love you, boss man. I know you. I hope you listen to this now, but there was a lot of Willie time, but I never minded. But I still can't remember why I was in a blue and white. But anyway, so I didn't know about the camera. And I saw this vehicle. It's nighttime. The trunk's up, but there ain't anybody around it. So I put that bright spotlight on and I pull over on Interstate 12. We were going westbound. I pull up, a safe distance behind the vehicle. I light it up. I don't see anybody, but the trunk's open, and the driver's side door was open. And I get out, and I'm walking up, and I had my handheld flashlight. I'm walking up, and I hear this screaming. Now, I'm on camera, and I don't realize I'm on camera, but the audio wasn't on because the audio thing. Jim, did that run off their belts or something? I don't remember why the audio did.
It was a little switch.
So the microphone was on the person?
No, it was on the belt, and the mic was connected to your
okay.
Wherever you want to put it. I always put it in between wherever my buttons are.
Okay, so I would just remember that we didn't have cameras. We didn't have dash cameras when I was in uniform patrol. And I know this wasn't my car, and I know the mic wasn't on because when I got to see the video later on, and I'll get to it in a second. So I just couldn't remember why. But anyway, so I'm walking towards the front of the car, and I'm looking. I mean, I don't know what's going on. If the person got hit or something, they got out of the car and they got hit. But I hear this screaming, and you could see me on the camera. I'm at the front of the car, and I turn. I'm looking down the ditch, and it's a big steep embankment in woods. And this lady is running out of the woods. She was probably like 40 years old, short black curly hair. It was summertime, y'all, and she had on a pink top and white shorts. And she comes running, screaming. I'm talking about hysterically screaming. Oh God, officer, help me. I'm like, oh shit, man, she been raped? I didn't know what was going on. I didn't have a radio to call it in. I didn't have a shoulder mic or anything to call it in. I'm literally out there, just her and I. I had a weapon on, naturally. So she's coming running up at me. I'm putting my hand on my weapon. I'm like, you can see me, I'm holding my hand. I'm like, man, stop. Hold on. I mean, she's in hysterics. I mean, I was seriously thinking I'm looking at a victim of a rape or something here. And she got up close to me. I said, stop right there. I said, just calm down, take a breath, tell me what's going on. She's screaming and crying. She said, oh, I said, what is wrong with you? She said, I have to poo so bad. And I'm like, what? And then it just went. I was like, holy, you can see me on the camera. I'm like, what? And then I was doing my hands up, and it was like the sound, the worst, well, I hate the word fart, the worst farting sound you ever, sound like a cannon going off. And I'm standing there, I'm in total shock, and it's going, and then it smell hits me. I look down, and I'm not making fun of the lady, y'all. I look down, and I don't know what the hell she had been eating, but her legs were like she waded out into a pool of oil, black stuff running, liquid, down her legs and splatting off the cement like she was urinating. I'm talking about it was like a gusher, and I'm like, she had on white shorts. I was like, and you see me on the camera, I was like, ah, and I was throwing my hands up in the air, and she was like, do something to help me. I was like, I can't do anything to help you. I'm backing up. And
you're probably like, don't get it on my boots.
I was like, holy shit, man. And I thought, then I almost threw up. I mean, I could work all the dead bodies and the maggots and all the stuff. But when it just catch you by surprise, and this woman has literally got the Hershey squirts or whatever you want to call them, just blowing it up. And then she just bent over again and just did it again. And then she turned around, cramping up her stomach. And I'm not making fun of her, y'all. I feel bad for her today. But, I mean, at the time, I was in shock and awe, if you will. And she turned around, and her whole pants were black. Her legs were black. There was black shit all over, literally shit all over the ground. And she just, I don't know how big her stomach was, but it seemed like she kept doing it for an eternity. And anyway, I went back and got in the car, and she didn't have anything. You know, I was like, ma'am, do you have anything in your car, anything, to clean with? And she's like, no, I don't have anything. And now when I had my blue and white, and that was our office, you go in my trunk, and John T. Wilkinson's wife always hooked me up because I was single at the time. But I would have rolls of paper towels and all this stuff. Wasn't my shit. But I did get in the trunk and find some paper towels, and I ended up, I had to call it in the radio room because I called in that I was out with the vehicle, and they had been calling for me, and I didn't have a radio shoulder mic on, and they'd sent other units because they thought I wasn't code 4. They thought something was wrong with me, like I was fighting somebody or whatever. Hell, I totally forgot about the radio room. And so, yeah, then I hear sirens coming in the distance while I'm digging in the trunk. And I'm like, oh, shit. I jumped on the radio. I said 259, I'm code 4, I'm code 4. And they said, actually, they held the net for me. They said 10, whatever.
1033.
Yeah, to release the net. 201 is code 4. But other deputies started showing up, and literally it was a shit show. Now, pretty funny. We helped the lady. We got her some first responders to come out, and the volunteer firemen came out, and they got her cleaned up and got her on her way. But here's when it got bad. After she was gone, I didn't know about the camera in the car, and the radio room called me because they had heard by this time. Somebody called them and told them what happened, and they I don't even know if I should tell this part. They called me and said, you need a 1019 in the radio room. And when I went 10-8 from the call back in service, or I wasn't in service, but I said 201, 259, I'm back 10-8 to wherever I was going, or en route to where I was going. And they said, no, you need a 1019 in the radio room. And I was like, okay. So 1019 means come to. So I go to the radio room, and they were like, yeah, you got it on camera. I said, I forgot, and I won't say whom, someone had access to the lockbox, and they put it on the big screen. And then for me, I didn't have any audio. It's one thing for me to tell you the story and you see it in the head. It's a whole another thing when you see it in living color. And the woman coming out, and I almost shot her at one point because she wouldn't follow my commands, to her literally blowing it up on film. It was bad. It was just as bad as I described it. But my face, when she started blowing it up, and it took me by surprise, and I threw my hands up in the air. I almost took off running backwards, but it's one of those, guess you had to be there.
Spark something uncommon this holiday with just the right gift from Uncommon Goods. The busy holiday season is here, and Uncommon Goods makes it less stressful with incredible hand-picked gifts for everyone on your list, all in one spot. Gifts to spark joy, wonder, delight, and that's exactly what I wanted feeling. Hey, y'all, I ordered a super cool piece. It's a candle with a sculpture of LSU's Tiger Stadium on top of it. And each officially licensed laser-cut wooden replica features up to 4 layers of detail, creating a bird's eye view of a specific football field, seating section, and more. And every label includes your stadium's name, the team's logo, and school location. And it has a coconut, soy, vegan wax infused with sandalwood smell that creates tailgates and touchdown scent profile, reminiscent of game day. It's invigorating like fresh cut grass, and nostalgic like smoke from a pre-game grill, and calming like the crisp autumn air of a new semester on campus. Y'all, I love it. I have it at the base of my TV, and I'm ready to watch the Tigers play on Saturday night, right? Uncommon Goods. Look, when you shop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses. And many of their handcrafted products are made in small batches. So shop now before they sell out this holiday season. Uncommon Goods looks for products that are high quality, unique, and often handmade or made in the U.S. They have the most meaningful, out-of-the-ordinary gifts anywhere. They even have gifts you can personalize. From holiday hosts and hostess gifts to the coolest finds for kids, to hits for everyone from the book lovers to die-hard sports fans. Uncommon Goods has something for everyone, not the same old selections you can just find anywhere. And with every purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. They've donated more than $3 million to date. So to get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/RLRC. That's uncommongoods.com/RLRC for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, we're all out of the ordinary. Hey ladies, are you feeling overwhelmed by hormonal changes? Well, you're definitely not alone. There are more than 1,000 hormone disruptors living in our environment right now. It's in your food, your water, the air you breathe, the clothes you wear, your skincare products. They all mess with your hormones. Then there's the natural hormone changes your body goes through, premenopause, menopause. And while it's a natural process, it doesn't mean you have to suffer through it. The good news is you don't have to suffer through it anymore, because because now you have Hormone Harmony, a formula made only with herbal ingredients that are shown to reduce hormonal symptoms in women of all ages. Hormone Harmony is not just a hormone support supplement, it's become a phenomenon. Women can't stop talking about it on social media. A bottle of Hormone Harmony is sold every 24 seconds. And the biggest benefit? Well, my wife says it makes her feel like her own self again. And that's what women mention over and over in the reviews. And there are over 30,000 reviews for Hormone Harmony. And for a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use code RLRC at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC for 15% off today. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC. Or you had to see the videotape because it was funny as fudge. Anyway, I got one more quick one. I was on the west side, and I was in Detectives, and I had somewhere over there, not far from Eastover, but not in Eastover. I had a warrant for a guy, but he lived in a trailer way back in whatever. I mean, he didn't even have a driveway, and so I had to go get him. We snuck up on the trailer and saw him through the window. Of course, he didn't answer the door, but when you see him through the window, it's what we call hot pursuit, meaning you can make entry to get him. And so whatever his name was, I'm banging on the door. I'm like, I know you're in there. I have a warrant for your arrest. Come to the door. He wasn't coming, so we kicked the door. Snatch him up, put him in cuffs, and he starts right away. And he's drunker and shit. And he starts right away. He said he didn't have a shirt on. All he had on was shorts. He said, "You gotta let me take a shit. You gotta let me take a shit." I'm like, motherfucker, I'm not letting you do anything. Man, come on, your ass is going to jail. I've been out here. It was hot. It was summertime. I've been standing out there swatting the big old mosquitoes, and it was just a nasty place. The yard was all muddy and stagnant water. It stunk. And he's like, "I'm telling you, you gotta let me go to the bathroom." I'm like, "No, not gonna happen." So get him. Had to walk back through the mud and everything. Get him in back of my unmarked unit. Now, when I arrested people in uniform, I would tell them before I put them in the car, I said, "Listen, if you kick my car, you bang my window, you throw up in it, you do whatever, we're going to have an issue because this is my office. I spend more time in this unit than I do my own home. Do not disrespect my office." And so I would say the same thing. A lot of times I would have uniform guys transport for me if somebody was free, but they were busy. And I said, "You know what? I got him. Don't worry about it." And he was just raising hell. I got a shit. I'm like, shut up, man. You'll be at the jail in 10 minutes. And we got on the interstate, and the smell hit me, and it just made my eyes water almost. The same like that lady on the side of the interstate. It hit me, but I didn't know. I didn't hear this guy's. That lady sounded like a cannon. Her ass was a cannon going off. This guy was silent but deadly. He just blew it up, and the smell hit me, and I had my mouth open, and I was like, I could almost taste it. I had to pull over, and then he started going, "I told you I had to shit. I'm shitting in your car." And I'm like, "Okay, I got something for you." And I took him out. He had diarrhea shit all in my car, and then he turned his ass around. He said, "I'm going to get shit on you. You should have did." I said, "You better turn back around." I said, "Do not do that, or I'm going to be forced to physically restrain you." He said, he turned around and did his ass. I took out my freeze. I sprayed the shit out of him. I doused him down, and he's like, "That didn't hurt." And the freeze plus P, it takes it like a minute and a half for it to kick in. After about a minute and a half, it kicked in, then his eyes involuntarily swell shut, and makes you feel like you can't breathe. And I just shoved him back in his own shit and took him to the jail, and had an inmate come clean. The trustee was the one that got he really got the shitty end of the stick, if you will. The trustee had to come clean the shit out of the back of my car. But there's a million of those stories, y'all. Man. Yeah, he tried to put his Dookie. He tried to put his Dookie behind on me. I forgot about that until I started telling it.
You had to stick your head out the window like Ace.
Oh, I tell you, I had the windows down. You better believe it. I had the windows down and going. I mean, if I'm
aware that it's coming, it's like skinning an animal or whatever of the dead bodies. I breathe through my mouth. As long as I don't catch the original woof of it, I'm okay, right? But if I catch it, then and I can taste it, it's not good. So anyway, and y'all, cops go out there every day, put their lives on the line, and literally, deal with stuff like this. Only on Real Life, Real Crime will you hear cops talking about Dookie stories. And on Real Life, Real Crime patron members. We're damn sure not putting this one out to the public. So
I got one more. Let me get one more.
Go ahead.
So working that night shift, I was always the jokester of it, kind of like what I was in my football days in the locker room. I used to mess with certain individuals on our shift, particularly just one a lot of the times. But I used to do little things because he, had gotten in a few vehicle wrecks. So Willie put him in an old pool unit.
Oh, yeah.
And so I used to like to take the little hubcap off, and I used to put a couple of pebbles in it. And then he would drive around, and by the end of the night, he'd be calling out to the supervisor.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd call out to the supervisor and be like, I got to take my unit in for maintenance. There's something wrong with the tire. And then he'll go in, they'll take the pebbles out. They'll be like, there's nothing wrong with your car. He'd get it back to the next shift. I'd do another tire.
Oh, my God. Funny.
He would never figure out, maybe I should pull it off. So he came over to my house one day before shift. And so we worked the night shift, like we said. And so on college football Saturdays, I mean, look, I got to watch my LSU Tigers. Yeah. And this guy likes LSU, but is a big fan of another school, and that'll end up giving it away who he is.
Right.
But he came over.
I know who it is.
And so we started watching some games, and he started talking some trash about his team and LSU. I didn't appreciate it too much, and I know it's going to sound a little gross, but this is what we do. We play jokes on each other. And so I had a baby at the time, and he had a pretty good, poopy diaper. And I think my son was about 18 months old, 2 years old, right when, they have that solid food and it really starts to get kind of nasty. So I had just changed him. And, this guy had really pressed some buttons. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to get you. Because he tried doing something to me not too long before that. So I went out through my garage. So I needed to move the cars. I had another vehicle, somebody else in my house I needed to get out. So I needed to go move his unit. And so I took the keys to go move his unit, went through my garage, and I went ahead and got some tape. And nice duct tape in the baby diaper. And I went underneath his seat. And I stuck it up on the bottom of his seat. Right? So it had a good 2 hours of just kind of festering there before the shift started. And so, we walk out and go 10-8, and, we're sitting there chatting, and he sits in there, and he stands back out. He's just talking away, and I'm like, well, he's going to hit you soon enough. And he gets in his unit, and he starts driving off. And I'm like, it's only a matter of time before my phone rings.
Right.
So we started working the shift, and I had to meet up with Mike Irwin. And Mike was my shift supervisor. Loved Mike to death.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
And so Mike and I are together, and he had something he needed me to work on with him earlier in that shift. And so when I met up with Mike, I told him about it. And sure enough, while we're sitting there talking, and Mike's explaining something to me that he needed me to do later on, my phone rings. And I had it on the phone that I had used to sit in this little device, and it would play on all the speakers, kind of like how you have your hands-free sets now.
Right.
It's kind of what it was when it first started out with the cell phones. And so Mike could hear the whole thing. And this guy's like, end up saying it. And no joke, he goes, I just went out on this call, and I farted before I went out on the call. And I came back to my car, 10, 15 minutes later, and my car just smells like shit. And I start laughing, and Mike's laughing because he knows what I had done.
Yeah.
And we're just laughing away, and I'm like, did you not? Like, come on, man. Like, I can identify the difference. And he still didn't know. So Mike now, I go finish the things he's wanting. A couple hours later, calls me again. He goes, bro, I don't know what I ate at your house. He goes, but I keep farting, and my car just stinks. And now I had to let everybody else know. So I let everybody know on the west side, period. North, south, everybody knew.
That's
and
funny.
some of us were together when he would make this call, because you go on some calls and you get 2 or 3 units.
Right.
And he would call up, and so we're all just getting a good laugh at it. Well, about 2:30 in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, now that it's not warm, and it can get cold at night. As he was driving down the road, he turned his heater on.
Oh,
and when the heater was going, a few minutes later, all of a sudden, the smell came up, and he's like, and he immediately pulls the car over, throws it in the park, and starts searching. He's like, that's baby shit, that's baby shit. And he sticks his hand underneath the seat, and he comes across the diaper. And now he knows what I did. And so now I get on the radio, my badge number was 321, so he's like, 321. Meet me at Burgess and 190, and there was a Freedom Fuel gas station there.
Yeah.
There used to be one spot we used to like to go to, and so I pull up over there, and everybody that heard him pull out on the radio knows exactly what it is, including Mike. And so we all get over there, and as soon as we get there, he's literally holding the diaper, and he's like, and he throws it at me, and we're all just dying laughing because he literally drove around for 9 out of the 12 hours of the shift, thinking that was him from farting.
Oh, my God, that's funny. I never heard that one before. I don't know how I missed that, dude. That is hilarious. So he thought it was him. And, when you turn those heaters on, those Crown Vics, they'll roast you out. So I can imagine when he turned it on, he got the full facial of the, because that's where it sucks the air from down there. He got the full facial of the baby poop smell. Oh, that's a Dookie smell, we'll call it. And then
you get a baby Dookie.
That's my baby Dookie. Instead of my baby's daddy, Dookie. Well, anyway, fun times.
Hope y'all aren't too grossed out.
Yeah. Hey, y'all. I guess we should have put a warning on this one, but I think we told you it's gonna be Dookie story. So anyway, different. Give you a little something to laugh at. Start off 2020. Hope you enjoyed them. There's a million more of those came from, and we appreciate and love y'all as patron members. And remember, we're not making fun of anybody. We're laughing with them, if not at them. Well, maybe that's bullshit. Maybe we are making a little fun. But anyway, thank y'all for listening. Jim, you got anything?
No, just hope you guys have a great start to 2020. Stay safe out there. We love and appreciate each and every one of you. Glad we could do this for you guys, and we'll be doing more stuff for you.
Yes.
Take advantage of those membership benefits. Let us know so we can schedule a phone call, and we'll speak with you soon. Love you guys.
Yeah, and appreciate it. Hey, if y'all are coming to the live show, don't forget on the merch shirts for the live show, you get whatever your tier level is, you get that discount off the merchandise in the store also. So don't forget about that. That just popped in my head. But we appreciate y'all. Love you. Hope you enjoy. We'll be talking to you real soon. You patrons rock. We love you, love you, love you. Until next time or ever, don't let us catch you down on Murder by You. Peace.
Peace.
Get ready, you're gonna do time. Real life, real crime.
Looking for excitement? Chumba Casino is here. Play anytime, play anywhere. Play on the train, play at the store, play at home, play when you're bored. Play today for your chance to win and get daily bonuses when you log in. So what are you waiting for? Don't delay. Chumba Casino is free to play.
Experience social gameplay like never before. Go to Chumba Casino right now to play hundreds of games, including online slots, bingo, Slingo, and more. Live the Chumba life at ChumbaCasino.com.
VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.